How to make a woman miss you endlessly. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to make a woman miss you endlessly. So, the only way you can make anyone miss you is to go into no contact, to essentially disappear from their lives, because that's when we truly miss someone, right? When we haven't seen them in a while, when we haven't talked to them in a while. It's hard to miss someone if you're, talking to them all the time. So that's what essentially you need to do to make a woman miss you. You have to not talk to her anymore. You have to go ghost. You have to stop watching her stories, stop liking her posts on social media, stop talking to her, stop calling her. Stop showing up in places where you know she's going to be, or where she knows you're going to be, Just don't be there anymore. Now, of course, this can be easier said than done if it's a woman who, you don't have to see on a daily basis. But what if it's a woman that you have to see every day? Like you go to school together, if you're still a student, or you work together. So one of the ways that I sort of explain this is if you have to see her and you can't do no contact, you can't disappear from her life, then you need to disappear in a different kind of way, because more than likely you've been giving her a lot of your attention. So if you go to school, work together, you probably always go up to her, you probably always try and have a conversation with her, especially if you really, really like her, right? You probably want to try and keep the conversation going. You want to spend as much time as you possibly can with her because you like her so much. So you now have to do the opposite of that. So the way that I describe this is you've got to think of the most neutral person who you go to school with or who you go to work with, who you're polite to and you say hello to, but it doesn't really go any further than that. And the reason why you do that is because it shows that whatever has transpired between you two hasn't bothered you. Because if you stop talking to her completely and let's say you're cold to her, or you just look really sad in a corner whenever she's like around and you're basically ignoring her, that's showing that she's affected you, okay? And it's not going to make you appear more attractive to her. It's not going to make her miss you, okay? Because she knows that you're still bonded to her, but it's in a very negative way, because she knows that, the reason he's being mean to me is because I'm not showing as much interest in him as he's showing in me, or I've rejected him and that's why, or I've put him in friend zone and that's why he's acting this way. It's not going to make her like you more if you're having a little pity party in the corner, or you're being horrible to her, or just really, really cold in general. And it's also not going to help either if whenever she enters the room, you change your behavior completely and you start acting all macho and overconfident and arrogant, and you're showing off and just being like overly enthusiastic. So that's not a good idea either, to do that. So you have to be in that middle lane, basically, of treating her like just a very neutral acquaintance. And another trick as well is to always be the first person to leave the conversation. So let's say you see her and let's say you say good morning to her. You're like, good morning. She's like, good morning. And maybe there's the quick back and forth of how are you? And like, yeah, not too bad. Always be the first to leave the conversation and be like, well, I hope you have a great day. And then you get on with your day. You're not lingering around. You're not trying to make the conversation deeper and trying to keep her talking. You have a quick word with her and you're the first one to leave and tell her to have a nice day. And basically what you're showing her is, I'm not bothered by what you've done. I'm not bothered by the fact that you don't like me as much as I like you. I'm not bothered by the fact that you friend zone me. I'm not bothered by the fact that you dump me. I'm still going to be polite to you. I'm still going to say hello to you like I do everybody else at work or school. And that's it. And by the very fact that you're still talking to her a little bit will really confuse her, because she's almost expecting you to treat her differently. But the fact that you're not treating her any different than anyone else you go to school or go to work with shows that that whatever has happened hasn't bothered you, and that will bother her. Okay, so that's how you make a woman miss you if you are if you know her in a physical environment and you can't do no contact. But if you don't know her in a physical environment, so let's say maybe this was a woman that you met on a dating app, or perhaps you're just not in the same circles anymore. Perhaps you did used to work together, but now you no longer work together, or you used to go to school together, but you no longer go to school together, so you just don't see her. Then the best thing that you can do is to apply no contact. But when I say no contact, I mean no form of contact with her whatsoever, not even looking at her stories, not liking her posts on social media, not commenting, and especially not calling her up, and especially not messaging her. No contact whatsoever, because like I said, you can't make a woman miss you and think about you if you're in her DMs all the time. So another thing that you can do to make a woman think about you and wonder about you, especially if she still has a little bit of a door or a window into your life, like let's say she has access to your stories, let's say she has access to your social media page, then what you want to do is occasionally, not all the time, because it will then make you seem like you're performing for her, or you're trying to prove a point. But what you want to do is occasionally just post a success. Like if let's say, for example, you go to the gym a lot and you finally manage to, lift a weight that you've never been able to lift before. That's a little accomplishment. So just post it online, post it on your story, post it on one of your Facebook posts or Instagram posts, something like that. Just little accomplishments, and if let's say you've got a little side hustle going on or a project and you complete it, or you get your first sale, or you earn a certain amount, or actually maybe it's not a good idea to talk about money online, so maybe not that, but let's just say for example, you've got like a social media page that you're using for your business, and let's say it gets a certain amount of followers. That's something that you could post. They say it's never a good idea to really talk about how much money you earn, although that can be quite of a fun thing to do if let's say you get a lot of money. You might not be able to say exactly like how much you earn, but it might be nice if you like buy something nice for yourself, like you buy yourself a nice car or something, or you buy yourself a nice watch, and that might be quite a fun thing to say. You don't even, it could have been a gift, right? They won't know. You might have a wealthy friend that buys you like a Rolex or something, and just take a picture of it and post it and stuff. But basically what you're doing here is you're just posting like little accomplishments here and there. Again, like I said, it's not all the time, but like maybe like once every few months you post something, especially if it's something that you've actually really done and you feel really proud of, that you may want to share with people anyway, like family and friends. So just do that. And what that will show her is that you're thriving in life, you're doing really well, you're really happy, you're accomplishing things. And because you're not doing it all the time, it's then clear that you're not trying to actually prove a point. It just looks more genuine and like you're proud of your accomplishments. So just, post little wins here and there. And why not? It's good to celebrate your wins anyway. So that's what I suggest you do with that. And basically what it shows to her is that you're leveling up and you're living a life that you really like, and you're clearly happy because you're having these wins and stuff. And that shows to her again that you're unaffected by what she did. Your life hasn't been completely destroyed by her. And some women do actually thrive off of men that they've rejected in the past. Like maybe like friend zone sort of, in that sort of way, when they know that a guy has liked them and they've left them in some way because they weren't that interested. And the reason why some women thrive off of that is because it gives them an ego boost. Like if you're still posting on social media about how sad you are about the fact that she's not in your life anymore, she doesn't want you romantically, or whatever it may be, then what that gives her is it gives her validation that she's beautiful, that she's desired, that she's sought after. And a lot of women are very insecure about that, right? If they feel like a guy was once really into them and then he's no longer that into them. Some women do take that personally because they kind of hope that he would always be longing after her. It's a very narcissistic view. So this is not all women. This is just those women that probably are more on the narcissistic side. But it's definitely something that I've personally seen, and it's something that I've, talked to some people about in coaching and stuff. That she wanted your attention. She liked your attention. Even though she wasn't into you, she liked the fact that you liked her, and that made her feel beautiful. It made her feel desired. It made her feel desirable. Obviously, that kind of thing comes from a place of low self-esteem, and it's not a very so in a way, if the woman is like that, you've dodged a bullet, because it's not a good idea to be with a woman like that anyway. But the point of the matter is that on some level she probably hoped that you would still be longing after her, pining after her, because it made her feel wanted, it made her feel desirable, it made her feel wanted in some shape or form, and that felt good. And you're no longer giving that to her. So the best way to make a woman miss you endlessly is by not contacting her anymore. Now, if you are struggling with letting a woman go, then I have recently made a free PDF. It's a very short thing because it is free. But there's some good exercises in there that can help you move on from her, which I highly recommend you do. So if you get the PDF, don't just read it, like apply it, like do the exercises in it, okay? And that should give you a good starting point to help you get over her completely. But of course, what you got to remember about getting over someone, especially if you've liked a woman for a long time, is that it does take time. It does take time to get over someone. Even someone that you've liked from afar, it can take a while to sort of get yourself out of the habit of thinking about them all the time. So there's an exercise that I want you to do, and it's one of these things that I think I'm going to bring up a lot more in the future, just because I want you to remind yourself of this, and it's something that you need because it's something you need to remind yourself every day. And this is basically the ideal version of you blueprint, and it's very, very simple. And I'd really like it if you could, when you finish watching this video, come back to this exercise, or do it, follow along with it right now. Okay, so grab yourself a pen and paper, a drink, something to help you with this, okay, something to get you through this. And it's a really fun exercise too. It's not like something, that you're going to find boring. Well, you might do, but hopefully you don't, okay? So just play with me a little bit, right? Let's just do this together, okay? So there is an ideal version of you, okay? And on some level who you would like to be, okay? So the ideal version of you so this is you. If you're a woman watching this, just pretend there's a little skirt there if you want to, right? This is an exercise that anyone can do of any gender, okay? So, as in man or woman, okay, right? I don't subject to that. Even though I'm a lesbian, I'm not subjected anyway. So the ideal version of you, okay? What are your thoughts? Well, who would the ideal version of you, how would they think? Okay? How would they feel? And what would their actions be? Because that's why I've put like a little question mark at the end of these words, because they're a question, right, that I want you to answer. How would the ideal version of you think? How would the ideal version of you feel? And how would the ideal version of you act? So how would they behave? What would you be doing on a daily basis? This ideal version of you, okay? So answer those questions. And then there's another exercise to do as well, which is once you've, mapped that out, you know what the ideal version of you would think, how they would feel, and what action they would take. Now, this is something that you're going to have to do a lot, okay? And that is rumination time. So you got to think about these things. So, when you get a moment to yourself, look at the piece of paper where you've wrote these things down, or on your app, your notes thing on your phone, and just ruminate about this person, this ideal version of you. Just think about them. And then also visualize them. So you might want to find like an inspirational piece of music or something along those lines, and visualize this ideal version of you, and an accumulation of how they think, they feel, and their actions. And then practice being that person. Okay? And if you do this every day, eventually you will become more like this ideal version of you. The more you think about this ideal version of you, the more you visualize this ideal version of you, the more you practice being this ideal version of you, the more likely it is that you're actually going to start being that ideal version of you. Okay, so that's what I suggest that you do. Okay. Another thing that can help you as well, I've recently made a playlist of like about 10 videos where I feel like I've explained things really well. So please go and watch those videos. The link will be in the description. And you can basically treat it like an audiobook, just go over them over and over and over and over and over again. Something you can listen to while you're in your car, or when you're doing a workout. If you're having some downtime, let's say you're playing some video games, just put those videos on and just listen to them on repeat. And because repetition really, really does help with these kinds of things. And that's why I'm a coach. One of the things about coaching is that you have to say the same things over and over and over again. Because if you think about like a boxing coach, what does a good boxing coach do? Well, before they get into the teaching their student or the boxer they're training, whatever, about different like fun combos to do, they get the boxer to just practice doing a jab, like just the basic jab, thousands and thousands of times. And that's why I speak about the same things over and over again, thousands and thousands of times, okay? Because I'm trying to get it into your brain, okay? I'm trying to make these things instinctual for you, like how a boxer, a coach is trying to make their boxer, know how to do, just a very simple jab without even thinking, okay? And so that's what I'm trying to do for you, and that's why I repeat a lot of things. That's why I repeat a lot of the same subjects, because I want these things to be a part of who you are, so you can, you'll know the right moves as soon as these different things in your life come up. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christinelovridge.com. And just pick whichever coaching option works best for you at this current time. And if also you would like to do some more coaching for free, then you can go and read my book on the website too. You don't have to sign up for it. You don't have to log in. It's just there for you to read for free on the website. Just go to the menu on the website and click on the book, and it'll take you straight to the PDF reader where you can read it. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.